Storm's Eclectic Realm, everyone. I am Storm Winter, your host, with my co-hosts,
Mad Scientist Abigail Hyde
and
Phelony.
oh yeah. So today I'm going to keep it real short because we have very special guests with us tonight. I'm so excited about this, but guys, I smelt them and I'm going to have to go, so I'm going to leave this all up to Abigail because she knows them personally. She does the rock report. Heck yeah. No, I'm not going to put that in there. I don't want to put that in there.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we got BRAY Road here with us tonight, Abigail, right?
Yeah, they graciously agreed to make the trek to the castle. And I think I saw them floating around the moat area before, so they should be in here any minute.
Well, I hope they can make it past the moat then.
Yeah.
Some people have troubles.
Yeah,
should I
that's
take a
what-
little fly out there and
Maybe,
see?
yeah, I think we need to, yeah.
All right, let's send you guys into the movie. I'm going to go peek around.
Welcome back to Storm's Eclectic Realm. This is your favorite mad scientist, Abigail Hyde, with one of my co-hosts, Phelony. And as you can see, we have some special guests with us today. This is a Milwaukee thrash groove band called BRAY Road, and with me are the members. All three of them are here to join us on our adventure today. They were formed in 2010, and I want to hear a little bit about you guys and like what you do in the band. So we're gonna start over here. So I mean, like I kind of know you, but we need everybody else to know you. So please tell us about you.
I'm Dave, I play bass.
I'm Pete, and I play drums.
Nino, guitars and vocals.
Okay. So I think the first thing we all want to know is about your band name, because I know around here we know about BRAY Road. There's like a little history with your name, but so I want to kind of know like how that name was formed and maybe like a little history for those that might not know about it.
Well, I've always kind of been obsessed with ghost stories and just like freaky stuff. I actually worked at a Burger King in Elkhorn when I was 15, 14, and they kept talking about the Beast of BRAY Road, like it's right down the street, so I had to look into it, and later in life I just figured that'd be a pretty cool band name, and a lot of Beast themed stuff can be done around it, so I figured,
What's the beast?
Huh?
What's the beast?
Well, nobody knows. Some people think it's like a part of an occult that sewed a bunch of animals together. Some people think it's kind of like a miasma, spectral being.
What do you think it is?
It's whatever it wants to
It's
be.
whatever it is.
Maybe. I think it might be Man Bear Pig.
Man, Bear,
I'm cereal. Man
And what do
Bear
you
Pig will get you.
Yeah.
And what do you think it is?
No. Big thing fucks up livestock. I broke the rules already, sorry.
Yes, we have to be good little band members on the
Good
show.
little goblins and
We're
ghouls.
gonna have to it'll be good.
Just do a there right
Yeah.
there. Do a beep. The censor. We got 5 minutes in, and BRAY Road already messed it up
5 minutes, I don't even think we got that far.
in the typical BRAY Road fashion.
Perfect band for our show then, because we always have our little bloopers ourselves. So I provided a list of questions to ask you. Some you probably heard 1,000 times, some maybe new to you, I hope. We'll see. Okay, so my first question to you is please tell us like what got you into the music scene. Was it like your first album? Was it like a person? Did you get like a garage? Did you get a drum set in the for your birthday? Tell us how you first got into music and why you wanted to do this.
Me first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Watch my language. Gotcha. I don't know, as a kid, music was cool,
Did you have a favorite band then?
Anything. As you'd watch MTV and anything that was heavy or funny, I gravitated towards. And, I was in middle school, I was trading tapes with a friend, and I traded my copy of Back in Black for his copy of Motorhead's Orgasmatron, and suddenly I was like, you know what? Bass seems really freaking cool. I think I want to do that.
Oh.
And
Okay, for me, I go so far back to like almost beginning of life with that. I mean,
it was just I showed signs of having it as far as being able to play, like everything about like musical mind. I mean, I have a dad that plays guitar and bass, but then I seen him with bands, and then seen bands at like community events and such, play. And also I got interested in the drums early on, and I think it was my 5th birthday I finally got a real drum set already, and really had it. I just showed it. And from there on, I kept playing at a young age, and
Pete lucked out.
Yeah.
and
you
then,
did.
yep. And by middle school age, I was in school band all the way through the end of high school, so I learned music in deep.
Wonderful.
And then, of course, the metal scene came about. I was listening to metal at early age, rock and stuff.
Did you have a favorite, like, first couple bands, like, when, do you remember?
Oh, not really. There was too many phases of classic rock as a kid, all the classic rock stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The one radio station, Laser 103, back then when
Yeah.
I was in grade school. Everyone else in my class was all about that dance stuff. I think there was a Milwaukee station.
QFM.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was a rock station too. No,
107 or
no, it was, I think it was that, but I think the station they all liked was 1021.
No,
Oh.
Alternative.
Not Rock 1021.
Oh,
Before that.
Before,
Before that
Oh, wow.
was like a rap and dance station.
Oh.
They like twerking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically.
Twerking.
I still can't figure out how to do that, by the way.
Like I would hear like Scorpions by the time I was more into grade school. The grunge
Okay.
movement came about,
Sure.
and so I got into that, the Alice in Chains and all that back then in Soundgarden.
Okay.
But then, of course, more of the classic rock made a comeback, and got more into Pantera by high school. I wanted heavier music, and found Cannibal Corpse through Ace Ventura: Pet Detective as a kid, and that turned me on.
That was a great. That was a great.
I was like looking up that band, trying to find everything I can, and I finally did a little bit later, and it was just that kind of music just got me more than anything else.
Nice.
So,
Perfect.
And here we are.
yep.
Sure.
As far as getting into music, I didn't get into it till later in life. I mean, I've always listened to music. My mom was big on music. She's big on classic rock. Metallica was one of the heavier bands that I actually knew. I knew a little bit of Megadeth. My time frame was Countdown to Extinction. I knew a few songs off of there, but I was really into rap and hip hop as a kid, to be honest. I didn't start playing an instrument until I was 20. And the only reason I did that is because I had nothing else to do because I was locked up. So I just learned how to play guitar. Then when I got out, I had a friend ask me to come see. Actually, Burial Ritual was one of the first bands I saw. And I had an interview to go to a band called Stone to play guitar in. And shortly after I started jamming with them, we changed the name to Demon Seed. But then it was just one of those things where I was like, I used to go out and watch people do shows and be like, well, I could do that too. I mean, so that's kind of how I got deeper and deeper into bands. So I've known Pete and Dave since like the beginning of the band. I mean, I remember Dave used to come to shows when we were still supporting a demo. Like our first 2 shows, Pete was one of the first musicians I met in the scene. So
Oh yeah, I was already playing in bands myself. Burial Ritual was a big one, a long time runner.
Yeah. That was,
So he met me there. We played shows together.
I mean, we've all played shows together.
Yeah, we all did.
We got flyers in the basement of all 3 of our bands.
Yeah,
Nice.
separately.
Pete used to come see my bands play, and
Yep.
I've seen Nino's bands play, and we've all known each other forever.
So can you tell us a little bit about like the other bands you were in? A little
Okay.
bit.
What's this start
Is
first?
he going around?
Yeah.
We know what you were.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know a lot
But
of
they don't. They need to know.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Abigail needs to know.
Abigail
We need
doesn't
to know
know.
these things.
My counterpart might know a little
Where
bit,
did I
but
first?
I don't
Did
know
I
anything.
first meet you in?
when I was playing bass for Rictus.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Richter's Grin. Yeah. So,
Yep.
okay.
And from there, I was in Dark Grave for a little bit, and
Yep. I remember.
I did Sam Yaza for 6-7 years.
Oh yeah, played with you in that.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
doing this.
Were
Yes.
you in bands in high school too, or just no?
Yeah, it is high school kids. You
Yeah.
yeah,
put
I
things
did the same.
together, and no one takes things seriously, or
Right, I
and
did
then,
that same thing.
you waste weekends and you have fun, and
Yep.
it doesn't goes nowhere.
I know that exact feeling. I've been there myself.
Then you're
Besides,
47
school
and Bray
band was
Road,
one
that's-
thing,
yeah.
but
That's how life.
But what he just
Right.
said about high school like forming bands, I did the same thing, and it was just fun and just to get a feel for it. But obviously, it's so unlikely that we're gonna really get anywhere. It's a rare thing
Right.
for a band forming in high school to actually
Right.
make it past that.
Play a show. I mean,
Yeah. Or we had a school thing called the Battle of the Bands at school. That was just any band sign up, and it's more of just a show of bands.
Yeah.
It's cool to do. It was fun to actually play, in front of everyone, like say in our gym or cafeteria
Sure.
or so, something like that. So, and then of course, I seen Rick Disthrin. That was a band he was
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
since my early adult years.
Yeah.
And
You
then
guys used to all party together.
yes, we
Yes.
did. That's right. And then I was looking to get into a band or form something. I was looking to play drums for because I really wanted to get out there and play. And I've done bands Blacken, Burial Ritual, and now this. Yeah, Cause of Doom. That was another
Oh, yeah,
band I
Cause of
did. Basically forming.
See,
Okay.
see, as far as bands, like you said, I started out with Dino and them and Stone. I was in a band called Midian for a little bit. And never.
Oh, I know
They've been
that.
around for a while, and I didn't really fit into their whole vibe,
Yeah,
so
I
that didn't
played with
last
them
long.
too. I remember playing with them. In fact, when I started at Midland Plastics, that's a job.
Yeah, he was when I was there, I was working there with you. He became like our finance guy or something.
Yes.
It was so weird. seeing him,
Kevin.
like,
Yeah.
like, I know this guy.
Yeah. That was Kevin Perrins.
Then from there, I always kind of started Bray Road around that time. It was me and a drummer named Tony Heath.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
trying to write songs together, but we couldn't find anybody else to join the band, so,
Yeah.
Then from there, I was in a band called Mortiskull for 4 years, 3.5 years. And since then, I've just been doing Bray Road. I just figure I would focus all my attention on one project, so.
Right. Well, right now we're gonna get you back into the movie, and we're gonna continue our interview with Bray Road right after this.
Tuck your guts in, guys.
Welcome back to Storms of Eclectic Around. We are interviewing Bray Road today. Yeah, I'm with my co-host Phelony is here. She's being so good. And I want to continue on our interview because it's so fun to learn about the bands that are in our area. So the next question I have, if you guys could open for a show for any famous person or any famous band, please tell us which band you would choose and why.
Oh.
You want to take this one first, Pete?
God, man, there's a whole bunch. Now you are really getting me going on
Yeah.
thinking of a whole bunch because there's a lot of idols out there. I mean,
All right, we'll let you name two. Okay.
you already. Well, I think who would I really like? Well, for one, I would love to have opened for Testament. That'd be another, or Anthrax.
There you go.
Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have fit in real well with those bands.
And the
too.
thing is, when I was in Kazadoom, I did actually open for one of my idols that was like a bucket list
Okay.
goal of life to do, which when I did Kazadoom, I opened for Nile.
Oh.
And
okay.
Carl Sanders got to actually see,
That's
which
great.
was very cool.
Colonel Sanders.
Carl. Carl, main guitarist in Nile. And,
Yeah.
But then there's the fact that I'm friends with Vital Remains and Internal
Oh, right,
Bleeding,
yeah.
so I know those guys are good friends. I'm good friends with those guys.
Right.
So it's already kind of like I got in with a lot of them, and they know me, I know them. So, but yeah, bigger bands would include like Anthrax and Testament. Ooh, that would have been.
Okay.
And I did get to open for one of my idols in the past too on Full Terra Assault.
Oh, yeah.
Death Angel.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a kind of a more personal favorite. Death Angel, a little less known
Yeah.
of thrash, but awesome. I love Dark Angel.
Ooh, I would have to go basic. I would have to say it would have to be James Hetfield and Metallica, man. That would have to be.
Okay.
That would be my. You know, even though I wasn't too much of a metalhead as a kid, I always knew who he was, and I always like adored the way he played and just the presence he had on stage. So.
Well, it'd be a good fit too. I mean, are we talking about opening for bands that would actually make
No, it doesn't have to.
sense? You know, would it make like
No,
the
it
Bray
doesn't
Road
have to.
bigger because we opened for this thrash man? It'd be like,
Personal.
No, it can be
weird.
Then
Like,
personal.
man, I really like, you know, some or alive or dead. You know, it's just another thing. But
Not so
Hey, this
technical
is a place
here.
of magic, so I'm sure
Yeah,
there's some
not so
conjuration
technical here. We
Well,
can,
you know.
Conjuration spells.
Storm's got abilities to bring back these people.
You know any
so-
conjuration spells?
Yeah, she does. She knows a lot of them. So we'll need
Necromancy.
any of them. Don't, without taking any of those things into consideration. Which band?
no, I'd like to open for a band that like, just be fun to hang out with. I mean, you know, unfortunately, you know, you open for bands and most of the time they don't want to hang out, you know. But when I opened for 3 Inches of Blood years ago, those guys are a blast. They hung out. They're great guys.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
I would throw 3 Inches of Blood if they were still around, but they're not on that list again. Obviously, Motorhead, you know, I opened
There you
for
go.
them years ago. That was another great show, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know if, like, you know, we would be the ideal, but it's music. Doesn't matter.
We could be whatever we need to be.
Exactly. And Storm can help with some of that.
We have our songs. They have so much different. They're all heavy, I guess.
Yeah.
Heavy is like subjective, I guess,
Yeah.
to the
But
listener. But we have like
Sure.
laid back heavy and we have fast heavy. You know, there's
Yeah,
like
got
there's
different.
like different gradients.
Groovy.
Yeah, there's
Groovy. Yeah,
groovy.
that's what the groove part comes in.
So
with
we could pretty much
your
put a set
title.
together where we never do a thrash beat, and then put a set together where it's all thrash beats, and it's all right, Pete.
Yep.
Thrash beat, Pete.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that creative process, like where it starts. Do you all have a role in it? Is there one main writer of the music? Do you all
Well,
do this?
I feel we all write and contribute. That's the one thing, and that's always been my thing of a band is to be sure everybody gets a chance of writing. Don't be like the guy in the movie Rockstar when they tell you, no, they do all of the writing
Yeah,
and you
that-
just sing them.
I was kind of wondering about that when I saw that movie. If bands were like that.
Oh,
Some
well,
bands are like that.
maybe. I mean, maybe on the big level.
Some bands, that's the only way they can be productive, because some bands you can't rely on anybody else
But then,
the person
there's-
whose vision it is, you know.
But then when you get a guy that's like initiatively, you know, that's like, hey, why don't you try, let's go for this, or he's trying to make the effort to contribute, but then they shut him down, you
as
know.
far
that's-
as Bray Road though,
No, we,
they
yeah, we,
well, the band's been through quite a few evolutions, let's put it like that.
right.
So in the beginning, it literally was just me writing everything to a click track. But then eventually I started, pretty much up until our second album was really nobody wanted to help. Everybody wanted to show up and just hang out and drink beer most of the time, it seemed.
I
But,
know how that goes.
you know, I'm one of those people, I believe that a band is usually one person trying to convince other people to get on board with what they're doing. You know, I believe every band has to have a leader, because otherwise
degree,
it kind of. I mean, we've been kind of laxed on all that because I feel like we've all known each other for so long. There's really no need to. We're all professionals. We've been doing it for long enough that if we don't know what we need to do, we shouldn't even be here, type deal. You
And,
know, I can't say I've had that in a band before, where I'm comfortable with my members and can trust them all. But I'm kind of at a point now where that's where we're at.
and both Nino and I have been in bands before where we each were the main writers, so
And as far, yeah.
so everyone here writes. I mean, there are guys that play, and there are guys that play and write. You know, it's nice to have other people that throw ideas off of.
Well, the dynamic has been, I would say Dave has been coming up with a lot of like main meat hooks of songs, and we've been just expanding on them, like like a riff, like dude, that's a cool riff. Let's build on it, and then we'll do, you
I can
know.
do that too, you know, drum beat wise, build on whatever someone else is playing, or if I give something off, they're gonna put their part to it, just come up with something that goes with it.
I used to be pretty obsessive about making sure that it was just writing, but now it's like I'm getting older. I don't want to have to sit and write riffs for hours and present them to a band who might or might not learn them correctly, or you know.
You mesh.
Yes, and like from my mad scientist brain, you guys have good chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta throw my little stuff in there sometimes, you know.
Like even with the drums and a lot of the writing process, we'll stop a riff at rehearsal and be like, well, what kind of drum beat do you think's gonna go here next?
Oh, and
And then we might come back the next week with a riff off of that drum beat that we came up with, and okay, let's try this over that. You know, it's a lot of music is feel.
yeah, you're
So-
right. We gotta feel it.
Yeah, I find that very fascinating. I feel like you have to have a special kind of like thought process and like how much like creativity you all have together to make all of that.
Plus, one person writing gets stale because
You're right.
everything sounds the same in their head.
Yeah.
I used to sit there and be like, "Oh, that's a cool riff," but it sounds like those four that are it's just using the same notes as them three. You know.
You only smash the notes together so many ways.
That's true.
That's why I gotta have a good rhythm section because it'll help those same notes move along in different
Oh,
fashions.
yeah.
You know.
But it's nice, like with you have like a more unique sound, so like you can pick it up. That's what I like about music. Like when you can recognize a band just because, you know, even if it's a new song, oh well, you know, they have a style. So it's nice, you know, it's
Yep.
good to stay with it. You know what you're doing and you're great at it.
I
So-
personally believe that people naturally want to go like this.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
well, what it is it's all about like the rhythm sticking into their brain. It's what it really is. Yeah, if you got that, you're golden.
Right.
If you can get people moving, like give them the pulsating feel, give them a pulse feel, you're gonna do great. I think that's all of it is key is to giving them a pulse feel of whatever song you're doing.
So that kind of leads into another question I had. So what happens like when you're performing and you notice something maybe going on in the crowd that's unfavorable, like maybe there's a fight or your audience is like being all weird or something. Do you guys get distracted by like your crowds that you play for?
Not that I know of, not
No,
that I'm
it's just-
aware of.
I've seen
No.
some pretty funny stuff go on.
Sure,
I mean,
And
it's-
you can stay focused and
well, as long as no
yeah.
one needs like severe medical attention or
Oh
something,
no,
then
I
you'd be
mean
like, hey,
like,
you know,
like
no, it's
No, but then even silly stuff that makes us have more fun,
Yeah.
actually, to be honest. That's what we see they're having fun out
Right.
there, then obviously we gotta have fun with them, they gotta have fun with us.
right.
when I'm on stage, I try to stay like glassy-eyed and focused because when you try to sing and play at the same time, it's like if you put too much attention on one or the other, you're just gonna mess them both up.
Right. So what happens if you guys have mistakes? Like you guys notice on stage, do you just power through them? Do you
Power
look at
through.
all
We
each
don't make
other?
mistakes.
Do you look at each
Barely.
other
We
and be
don't,
like,
we don't make mistakes.
It's the right thing to do is to power through.
Power
That's
through.
Just keep going.
Yeah, that is the right
beauty of
thing.
it
That's
is-
like the professional thing I was taught a long time
By the
ago.
time you make the mistake, it's done. It's
Yeah.
gone.
It's done and
yeah.
nobody's gonna
Like,
notice.
we meant to do
16
that.
notes away. It's gone.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much nobody really notices if you just keep going.
See, a bass and the drums, this is why I'm not a bassist or a drummer, is because on a bass, if you hit a brown note, it's sticking out. Like on a drum, if you start the wrong beat, you know, it sticks out. On a guitar, I meant to do that. It kind of fits. No, I mean we practice enough and we know our songs well enough to where if one of us messes up, the other two are doing good enough to kind of mask it. Or
okay.
I mean, I
Play it off.
Can't say I haven't made my fair share of mistakes at shows, but they're
Everyone does.
So can you tell us some funny things that you've seen in the crowds while you're playing? Like you mentioned that you've seen something.
I've seen some domestic disputes between people
wow.
before.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I remember one time there was a bar owner who was yelling at her man that was like a sound guy there, kind of promoter. Yeah, that was pretty funny. She's up in his face, and I'm like, oh.
But you can still manage to stay concentrated on what you're doing, which is amazing. Because
Yeah.
I would just be like, wait, I gotta pause. I don't need to figure out what's going on over here.
I mean, I've seen musicians drop guitars while we were playing, break snare drum heads. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in a band that can throw you off too,
Oh.
not just the crowd.
Oh, right, like strings breaking and stuff I've seen. Or,
Oh, yeah.
or like
Like
if
a-
you
or-
lose a drumstick or
A
something.
bassist being out of tune the whole show.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Not Dave. Not Dave.
Not him. No.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Oh yeah.
So I saw on YouTube you guys had some music videos out. I know you've had some lineup changes. The song that like really caught my attention was State of Execution.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about like where the song title of that came from and the video and how that all came together?
Good talk. State of Execution was written right before. Well, it was mostly written before Pete joined the band. That was
Right.
we had a previous drummer that we entered the studio with that he didn't work out. Let's put it like that. So I had approached Pete months before that and asked him, you know, if something were to happen with, you know, Joe Blow over here, could you step in and learn the drums for these 5 songs? And State of Execution was one of them. So as soon as Pete came in the fold, the song kind of changed. The speed sped up a little bit. We programmed the click tracks to have different speeds to kind of catch the
Tempos,
feel
yep.
of the songs. So
Yeah, so that everyone stays together.
the State of Execution was like that song's pretty much about, you know, some mental struggles. In the video, it was myself chasing myself.
Oh yeah.
And the State of Execution is like sometimes you feel like you want to be here, sometimes you don't. So what's the
Oh,
State
I
of
know.
Execution
I know how
to
that goes.
either end it or
Know the
keep
feeling.
it going? You know.
Yep, and then shooting the video was fun. That was a fun process.
Yeah, that was my first
Yeah,
video.
the thing is, I wanted to talk about the previous place we were in that we had to shoot that video, which was the Hyde House in Bayview. Cool building, historic building. Bands rented out. I had my room upstairs. We shot it right outside my room, upstairs, you know, and just that atmosphere was just perfect for shooting a video. Well, hello, Kitty.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, right now we're going to take another break and we're going to get you back into this movie to be continued with more from Bray Road. Welcome back to Storm's Eclectic Realm. I'm still here with BRAY Road. We're still learning all about them. And we're just going to continue on with our interview. So now we're going to go off on a little fun questions. Maybe stuff you're not used to being asked. So can you tell us about your favorite horror movie? And if different, what was the first horror movie you ever saw? If you can remember.
Saw quite a few things.
As a kid, the first one I remember was Night of the Creeps.
Okay.
Creeps. That's a,
They
that's
always
old
had
school
such
one.
great names.
Great movie.
Is
I
that your
have to
favorite
say-
movie?
Oh, there you go.
Is that the favorite one too?
Probably. I mean,
Okay.
it's like anything. It's like your first thing you remember, or no, it's like the first things you remember are like the ones that you get the emotional attachment to.
Yeah. It's hard to say what a favorite of anything is, really. But what about you, Pete?
Return of the Living Dead also was the other one.
Oh, that's
That's the first
quite
one.
quite a thing of horror movies. See, probably in high school, like early high school, I remember the first Scream movie. That was quite terrifying. A guy that just doesn't stop chasing someone and just stabs, especially girls he loved to just stab them to death in the same fashion as Jason of Friday the 13th, but he just does not stop. And I mean, I've seen the classics, the first Halloween movie, just better than any of the other ones. Just to see it recently, like at the gym on their television things, on the treadmills. Saw the first Halloween movie this October.
Well, I
And
don't want to go
see-
to that gym. Our gym doesn't have those.
Yeah, and here's the thing, to see Jamie Lee Curtis just turning adult age then, playing a high schooler. It's just so weird to see her based on how old she is now.
Right.
And just to see that. But the other thing, though, I mean, The Exorcist, that's...
Okay.
But the only thing now is I cannot watch it without laughing at it because of Scary Movie 2.
Oh.
What they did with that whole Exorcist movie just made me laugh, and all I can think of is the jokes they made out of
Okay.
it.
Sure.
Like the three-way puke wars,
Oh, right. Okay.
or your mother's in here with us,
Oh,
and then
right.
she actually gets out of the bed. That was
That's
I would have to say, might be a bit controversial, but the first one I remember seeing and is still to this day my favorite would be Ghostbusters.
Oh.
That's the absolute favorite movie. Yeah. That's this guy. I got pictures, photos, stickers. I collect stuff. Yeah.
We were at a convention not too long ago for the show, and there was some guys there dressed up like that. That was pretty awesome. Everybody wanted their photos with them. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I definitely love the actors of the Ghostbusters. I mean, Rick Moranis and Ernie Hudson.
It was a spoof movie, it was, but it was
Bill
still based
Murray.
around horror concepts.
Right,
Spectrals,
but
ghosts,
then,
and
you know,
demons.
having, like, what else? Bill Murray.
The Marshmallow
At least
Man,
it wasn't a
yeah.
Christmas movie. Well, Ghostbusters 2 was a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Think about
And
it.
then there's,
It always
but then
happened
I
on
don't really
Christmas.
consider a horror movie as Nightmare Before Christmas. It's just too
Yeah.
comical,
Right.
but good.
Right.
Love the original, I'm talking.
Sure.
And I noticed, like, the fashion of it has still lingered to this day, and I'm amazed at that.
Right.
That's another thing
Tim
I just...
Burton.
Yeah, but I am amazed at the whole, like, Nightmare Before Christmas. The characters on so many things about both kids, young kids.
How about People Under the Stairs? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roach. Got his tongue off.
Look, I'm just saying though, like I like the horror movies are a little funnier, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Cheesy.
Yeah,
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny. Even like Friday the 13th, you watch the first one and it's like cheesy. It's like, is it that scary? Not really,
Right.
but it's more of a thriller, you know.
Yeah.
It's so weird, like, when I was younger, watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that was, like, the scariest thing ever. That's actually how I started liking Dokken.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
the
yes.
song there.
Dream Warriors.
Dream
Yes.
Warriors, yeah.
Warriors,
That's
that
actually
was-
my favorite one. But
Yes.
now, watching it now, it's, like, so
Yeah, it's
different.
like-
It's like, why? I was,
know.
what's going on? But they're classics, you know, the movies that'll be in our hearts forever, right?
Then there was a certain time where horror just stopped happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where it gets...
Oh, Sally, do you have a question?
Salem's Lot.
So,
Oh, that's your favorite one?
Yep.
Are you old enough to watch that one? Okay.
He had a different life.
In a different life,
Different
yeah.
life.
We take care of our felonies, so we let her do these things sometimes.
A few
When
of those
she
myself,
behaves.
so I get it.
She might get to do one now, because like she's behaving so good today. You should see her sometimes. She's kind of a little sassy thing sometimes. Okay, so now on to more questions for you. Do you guys sing in the shower?
No.
No?
I do quietly.
Quietly?
I don't
Yeah.
sing anywhere.
Well, okay. Actually, there's one time I think as a kid,
Yeah.
I just got into singing "Cool Jerk" after seeing Home Alone 2.
Oh,
It's just because of, and then yell, "Get out of here, you nosy little pervert!"
Oh,
slap
yeah.
you silly. It just got me thinking of that all the time. Whenever I hear him singing in the shower, I
Right.
always think
Oh,
of
yeah, so, yeah.
Uncle Frank.
Okay, I remember.
That's
I
like-
totally remember that.
It is. It just sticks with me, you know.
I'm just one of those people. I just don't like anybody
You
hearing me
don't
do
remember
anything. I
me?
guess
Okay.
public, private, whatever.
So, if there was a message that you could give out to your fans, do you have a message for all of your fans out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, please keep supporting the music scene and keep it alive. That's the biggest thing. That's the only way we can keep this alive.
Do you think that like the impact of the internet and social media has impacted the music industry as far as keeping the music alive?
Yeah.
Because I know
in
there's
many
a
ways,
lot of
yes. I really do, because I think
Yes.
people are taking too many things for granted now. I feel like everyone's lost a connection of real life compared to the 80s, where everything was like broadcast. And then if there was paper flyers, people had to show
Yeah.
up to see it.
I miss flyers actually.
And it's like, if just the fact that people are out and actually at the thing and instead of just live streaming, that just really made me sick when everything went to live stream, because it's just like people became so lazy.
No,
Like-
it's everything changes. It's how life is. I mean, it wasn't all ages show anymore. I mean, I would love to say that, it's the internet's fault, but it's not. There's just no all ages venues, so you don't
That's
have the
one
all ages
thing.
shows that kind of got me into it. Yeah,
That's true.
you have internet, so you have more exposure, but it's oversaturated. How many
Right,
times do you get
that's another
invites
thing that I
from
was
every
kind
band on the planet in your Facebook that you just it doesn't mean nothing.
You're right, and that's
Right.
another thing I was going to say with what he's saying is just bands now cannot do something that's so unheard of that's going to draw everyone to, like, say, Led Zeppelin back in the very end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. They were doing something when they released the first record. It was, like, unheard of what they were doing, just the way they were playing, or like Motorhead, the way they were doing stuff unheard of. Black Sabbath taking what Led Zeppelin did and going more horror themed with it. That birthed metal the
Right.
way it is now. It birthed it, and it just, they had to start something, and that's what really makes a band successful, is to actually get something going that draws everybody's attention. It's got to be unheard of. If bands now just copy, and that's been that way for a while. I think since even the 80s with the hair metal trends, bands copying thrash metal, there was more and more after Slayer and Metallica, just copying. That also drives it into the ground.
I'm sure it was the same way forever, though. I'm sure in Zeppelin's day, you probably had 100 bands that you never heard of who were doing the Led Zeppelin thing.
Right, that is
after.
true. That is true.
I mean, people want to jump on bandwagons,
I know they do, but eventually it just drives something into the ground, and it's much harder to succeed
But
that way.
the unheard of thing, that's the brilliance.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every day.
No, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be special.
There's thousands of bands, probably in the state, that can't come up with that one brilliant concept. If you look around the country, around the world, how hard is it to come up with that one moment of brilliance?
Yeah, it's...
And I don't know if it's internet or anything. It's just, I'll say this: the internet, you have more reach, though.
Yeah.
That
There are
is
people
true.
that
There's
have, like,
both good and bad.
Well, I was going to
There's
say,
Jared Dines of the world that do something, and all of a sudden they go viral and wherever, It's
Yeah.
It's easier to get your stuff out there further But it's also not because it's all watered down. You're so much oversaturated on it.
Right. It's a both good and bad thing. I mean, one thing, like, bands don't really need record labels. We can put out our own music, which also means that's a further thing. We record our own stuff. We don't go buying studio time.
Yeah, we record everything ourselves.
Right, except the only thing we hire studio is...
mix and master.
Yeah, mix and master it. That's an art in itself.
I was going to say about the fans, that question is I've met a lot of good people and I've met a lot of bad people over the years with this band. There's been times where I'm like, well, why am I even doing it? Nobody cares. It's like you're up against forces that you can't even compete with because it's a popularity contest and a micro scene.
Oh, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. This person don't like that person, but if you associate with them, you can't be cool with them, or blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
But
clicks.
the thing is those aren't the fans. The fans are the ones where we ordering our stuff from Germany. It's
Oh, yes.
right. We get orders from Germany. We've had Australia.
That's right.
In the grand
Orders
scheme
of
of
a
things,
record and
it's
such.
nothing. Who cares? Blah blah blah. But to me, that makes it feel like at least someone I've never met who has no real opinion of me has sat and purchased my music just because they like our music.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Because trust me, I would have given up years ago on this if it was based on people in the scene and fans on the scene.
Sure.
Yeah, trust me.
I feel like that happens in all the scenes. Oh, but on that note, we're going to take another break and get you back into this movie. Stay tuned because we got more from BRAY Road. Welcome back to Storm's Eclectic Realm. I'm here with my co-host Phelony and BRAY Road. We're continuing our interview with them because we want to learn all about them and all the things behind the scenes that you might not get to learn about just from seeing them on stage. Plus, it's really loud at shows, so it's a good way to get a little information about them. So we're going to continue on. So I know like you guys have shared the stage with a lot of different bands, and I'm just looking to see like if you received any advice or kind of like any knowledge or any kind of information from other musicians that have stuck with you that you brought into your own music.
Oh, I played with so many. I've met so many. It got to the point, like, say, as far as my drumming goes, it just seemed like more of them were coming to me.
Oh, that's
It just seemed that way. It just seems that way. I had more.
Drummers are hard to find. Just like
Yeah,
places.
but they were all, like, even others, just asking me questions.
Okay.
I mean, I'd get asked and showing people things.
Okay.
A lot of people things. Kind of became a go-to
Okay,
at times.
that's wonderful.
Can't really say any bands that I've played with have ever offered me advice or.
Okay.
I don't really. Is that a thing? I guess.
Yeah.
But I will say some musicians that I can really. Dino was one of them. My buddy Dino Whopper. He really kind of taught me how to like be in a band because I knew how to play a guitar kind of, but I never played with like actual humans. So he kind of taught me the ways to like fall in line with your rhythm and hold your guitar like this or stop doing that. You know. 'Cause I'm self-taught, so I had a lot of bad habits that were never mitigated.
Sure.
Him, and I also have to say Jason Hellman. He really helped me like understand certain aspects of music. I mean,
Yeah, he's been in this scene a long time.
And then
as well.
well, even Dave and Pete.
Yep.
There's things that Dave has taught me that I didn't know recently. Like, let's try it like that, or blah blah blah.
However, I was also gonna say too, in the music scene, way back to my earliest years, I got studio experience. That's why I know how to do what I do with recording. Studio experience from Joel Wanasek, who is
Okay.
now much big now with Unstoppable Recording Machine and Nail the Mixing. He's like one of the hosts of that or so, and also a developer of Drum Forge. But back then, I was one of his first.
Oh, one thing, a piece of advice a musician as far as that gave me as far as doing shows is that get your stuff off the stage quicker. I mean, that was that's I've heard that one before. That was some advice that somebody gave me years ago.
The fact is, like, I learned like I was already naturally hitting like drums the way I was. Like he just already was blown away that I knew what to do. You know, but kind of showed me the click track in the first place, and I'm like, I can do that. So there was like showing me how studio recording works.
Okay.
So I carried the knowledge and
That's great.
applied it to this day.
And what about you, Dave?
can't remember anyone saying, you know, this is going to make you a better bass player, this is going to make you a better musician, this is going to make you a better band member. It's just, you learn, you know, it's just doing it.
Okay.
You know, you learn a lot of things the hard way, the wrong way. You turn around and look at what other musicians are doing and saying, I've been doing that wrong my entire life. Excellent. And you keep doing it wrong because that's part of what makes you you.
Yep.
That's a good
The
point.
little point, you know, the on-off stage fast, you know, there are things like, there was a lot of younger bands that I tried to help out because I didn't get a lot of help when I was younger. So the little things, you know, it's you try to explain to people that I don't know how it is in your scene. Milwaukee is a very small scene. Milwaukee is not big on competition. Milwaukee's big on cooperation. You know, there are guys that are competitive, but I've always believed that I'd rather be the guy that works with everyone than the guy that everyone works against.
Agreed.
That is just, it is how scenes are.
Yep, I've been the same way, you know, as I said before. Many have come up to me, you know, and asked me questions, and I've been able to show a lot of them stuff too, you know, that I became that type of person, so knowing that I would rather cooperate and, you know, support everybody
Right, that's
than compete against everyone. You get nowhere doing that.
I cooperate to an extent.
You just gotta watch where you cooperate. You know where.
It all depends on where it lands you, man.
Exactly. Well, you just watch where it does, and you.
Okay. So do you guys have any like pre-show rituals that you do before you get on stage? Like certain like like maybe like tuning up your voice or like things that would make you like less nervous? Do you even get nervous before you performing?
I don't know, because I'm usually setting up the drums beforehand.
Okay.
That's
There's been some times when you're
Ordering
eating
food.
some chicken wings.
Oh,
True.
really? Oh, yeah.
See, you know,
Eating, I would say that's a
Yeah.
that one time
to
we
eat.
did a show in Rockford,
oh yeah.
and he had just downed his chicken wings, and he went up there and he killed his. It's like that's what we got to do is we got to get some hot and spicy chicken wings in
yeah.
this guy every time. No, we're pretty standard as a band. We kind of guard our stuff so no one walks off with it. We tune our guitars before we go on. You know,
Yeah.
Pete does his little paradiddles sometimes.
Yeah. But as far as like drums, once they're all together, you're not just gonna walk out with something without somebody seeing. It's just that they're just.
Remember that guy who wouldn't leave your drums alone? I had to tell him to
Oh,
pick it up.
yeah.
So, dude, get out of here. No, we were outside. He was packing his
I
drums.
was, well, at least I was
It's like,
there, you
it's
know.
like, stop touching it. Kind of looked at
He was not somebody from the show either.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's little
meth
things
or
like,
something. I don't know.
Probably.
He looked like he was on meth or something.
Yeah.
if I can find the time, I'll like warm up, but it's not
Okay.
always. You know, I try to drink.
Cramp spaces.
Yeah, I try to drink water probably an hour before show, not on stage, because by the time you're on stage, it's pointless.
Ibuprofen. I take my ibuprofen for
Get over.
get my
I like to
Geritol,
leave.
get my hands.
For some reason, I always wanted to do the check one thing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you actually looking for when you're doing that?
I don't know.
Is this like a microphone? I've always wondered
It's
what
a
sound
that
guy
was.
thing.
Yeah, it's a
Check
sound
one,
guy
check
thing.
one, check
Yes,
two.
yes, sound guys, make sure your levels
Yeah.
are good, you know,
Okay.
make sure, tone is good
And
and
we
clarity.
were going to Rhinelander. I had to stop and get. It's like, oh man, I didn't bring my ibuprofen.
Oh.
But, you know, like
You get block hands, like or you can't.
Yeah, like I said, with like the sound guy wants to make sure the clarity, the tone of your voice, adjust things to the tone, because everybody's voice is a different tone, and some might give off different frequencies that are too strong. Others may give off weaker frequencies that are not there. They need to bring up.
Okay.
See, when you do a sound check, you want to try to give him a neutral sound. You know, like I'm not gonna go like this and then actually go like this, and then he's gonna be like, "Well, turn it up." So when you do go louder, it sounds crazy anyway.
Sure.
It's the same with the instruments. It's like,
Yeah, you don't play something you're not.
Yeah.
You tinker around and whatever, you make awful noise, and you just play whatever in E. But you don't.
you want to get to the meat of it.
Yeah,
Same with the drums
Yeah.
too. You know, they're testing the levels of each of my drum components.
They
And
say
I'm
technically
not
you want to do
gonna
things in
turn
quarter notes.
I'm not gonna sit there on my
get
sound
the
check.
ideal level, but then they're like, play the whole kit.
Yeah.
That way, it's like they can see where they're balanced with all the mics on there.
That's what I said. My sound check, I'm not gonna play with my fingers and little soft passages, and no, because when I'm playing, because we're on stage, I'm gonna be loud.
Hammering. they were hammering
Yeah,
on
play
us.
what
Right.
you're gonna actually play.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
That used to be my nickname. Old hammer hands. They used to call. Like, you gotta let go of your guitar neck. No!
Well,
That's how I get my sound, is I choke it.
yeah, well then I also hit the snare real hard because of what I had.
Drums are meant to be clobbered.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
sure.
That's like that one dude on the Canadian studio thing.
So I've had people come up and be like, man, your bassist shreds. It's like, yeah, it's like now, it's like he's playing two instruments, a guitar and a bass at
Yeah,
once.
but he's...
So can you tell me a little bit about your interests outside of music? Like, what do you do what outside of the band, and maybe like your job?
Hobbies.
Hobbies? Yeah, hobbies, interests, passions.
Pete and I are machinists.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Pete and I have worked together.
CNC machining.
Yeah,
Okay.
I trained Pete a bit, but he already knew a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, from going to school and
I
all.
parted ways with that company, and now Pete's the man there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you do any like sports or go to any like sports stuff or anything like that?
No sports.
I was never a sports guy. I was always the
Neither am I.
frumpy, awkward, chubby kid.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and then...
I'm a big gamer. I like playing a lot of video games.
Oh.
In the summertime, I can't really say I go outside and look for things to do, but I'm kind of a hermit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And what about you, Dave?
I play music.
Okay.
I cook. I watch
Oh,
TV
Oh
randomly.
yeah.
Rarely, actually.
You watch a lot of Sesame Street lately.
I watch a lot of Sesame Street.
Everyone sees a lot of Sesame
Yeah.
Street.
And it ain't the same as it
It's
used
not
to
the
be.
same.
No, it's not the same.
No more
Politically-
Bob, no
politically
more
correct
Louise.
Sesame
Yeah.
Street now.
Oh, God, yeah, don't remind me. And then no more Bob and Louise.
Right.
And no more...
Well, people gotta move on,
What
man.
about Bert and Ernie still on there?
You're
I
still
don't-
on there.
All right. That's
But
good.
no Frank Oz.
Oh, okay.
That's the other thing.
What about those little like blooper dudes that will like be out the window?
Yeah.
Yeah, the peep guys.
Yep,
Are they
yep,
still
yep.
on there?
I don't...
The
Rarely.
yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Phelony
Meeps,
knows
the
that.
Meepers.
Another one gone, you know.
Okay.
No more Jerry Nelson as
Oh,
the
okay.
count
Oh,
anymore.
sure. Oh.
He's dead.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, that show's been around for a long
I
time.
know.
I mean, we can't expect Sesame Street to still have the original cast.
Oh,
Right.
no, but I just
I know,
have
but
one.
it's just that original cast I grew up on,
Yeah.
and it's just like they just stick, you
Yeah.
know, like
Good old
one of those-
days.
yeah.
Yep.
Bob is the one that just died
The Martian.
last
Oh,
month.
yeah,
My
the
favorite
Martian.
Sesame Street was
Is that what they were?
Dr.
They were-
Livingston, I presume.
Yeah, Mr. Hooper died when I was born,
Oh, okay.
actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that Lee something, that was his name.
Lily.
Willie, yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take another break and we'll be right back with more from Bray Road.
Okay.
Welcome back to Storm's Eclectic Realm. I'm still here with Bray Road and my co-host Phelony, who's doing really well today. I'm so proud of you,
It's on
Phelony.
her best behavior.
She is. You have to come back to the castle one time and see her and she's being a little naughty.
Bay Road.
The cat, too.
Yeah, and Rocky is joining us too. It's fun.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue on for our interview here. Thank you so much so far for everything you have told us. It's nice to learn things about you guys. Can you tell us about some memories from the road that like stuck with you and your like travels and playing other places?
I could say one with Pete and I, right off the bat, was we were visiting a place called the Uranus Fudge Factory.
Oh, yes.
You remember?
Yes. Well, we went back
Okay.
there twice, you know.
Yeah,
Twice?
but that wasn't the story, though.
Okay.
The story was as we were driving, the person driving was like, hey, I think I just saw the trailer door swing open.
Oh, yes.
We're on the freeway going full speed. So we pull over, and the only thing that was lost was every one of Pete's super expensive cymbals. Right? The whole thing was gone.
The case.
The case, everything. And a guitar stand of mine. So we got really lucky because we were pretty far away going full speed with all of our stuff not strapped down in a trailer.
Where were you going? With
Like in Missouri,
Oh,
right?
Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody picking up cigarette butts or beer cans on the side of the road got pretty lucky when they found Pete's stuff. So
Oh. So how far away when you noticed
he
it was
recovered though.
gone?
He made a full recovery. Now he's been.
How far into did you notice it was gone? Like
Oh, we were a good. It had to be a good half hour, 35 minutes.
did you go back and look for him?
No, it was pointless.
Oh.
Yeah, we would
We
not.
would have been covering miles of.
Oh.
We
I
don't
waited
know
for
where it
Pete.
opened and fell out. There's no way to
It's
know.
forever a mystery where all those nice Zildjians went.
Yeah, none of those are very cheap. I remember.
Pete likes good cymbals, so
Yeah, I remember just one breaking because you're so nice and you borrow them to other bands and things like that at different events. And yeah, I remember one breaking and you had to get one right away, and it was like really pricey.
Well, I was covered on that.
That's good, yeah, as you should be.
the person
when
who
you're
covered you
playing
had
out.
to pay for it right away. So
Yeah,
Well,
that's
actually-
good.
at least they did. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
What you, Dave? You used to be on the Richter's bus all the
Yeah,
time. You gotta have
tell
stories
us
after
about
stories.
a number.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like this. Just in your
there's
history
like
of being
plenty
a
of-
musician.
You know, close calls and flat tires and
Mm-hmm.
fun
That.
times, roadside bus
Okay.
parties.
Yep, and then me with
Yeah,
burial
bus
ritual.
breakdown. You know,
Oh,
Lots
oh,
of tours, lots of burial ritual tours over the years.
Right.
And first tour, one of the early ones, had a minivan pulling my trailer, and that broke down. Engine went out,
Oh.
and I bought a vehicle with money I
Jalopy.
had saved.
Yeah.
Is it bad to say that now, at our age, that we go through the vast journey of making sure that something won't happen? It's like
Just
we almost
responsibly.
don't want crazy stories from the road anymore.
It's just kind of like a learning thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything
But
else.
I buy a vehicle at a
Mhm.
dealership up the freeway
As
Yeah.
long as they don't surpass the good
just
ones.
so that
Right.
to continue the tour and have something I can pull the trailer with. That's a big one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, or getting stranded in Oregon and having to cancel a few shows because
Okay.
the truck broke. But that's another thing is getting this vehicle I got now for going on the road
Okay.
is done a lot better. I didn't have problems with it. The previous one just became so unreliable.
So what's the favorite venue that you played?
Well, let's see. Venues just on their own. There's quite a few. I think Club Infinity in Buffalo was such a huge one.
Why did you like it so much?
Just a really nice stage, huge stage. You know.
I liked Reggie's. That was a fun
Yeah.
one.
And Reggie's. Yeah. Oh, I loved that
I've been
one
to
too.
that one.
That was a fun one.
It was, and I missed the Metal Grill.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that one. That was just perfect for all of what we did. I mean, they had everything, great sound, great stage. Actually, not
I
just
liked it better when it was Vanux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's
It
good
became-
a lot
it-
of name changes.
Yeah, Meadow Grill had a lot of good moments. It also became kind of like a click hangout place. Yeah, I lose interest in those type of places quick.
yeah.
Sure. What about you? Do you have a favorite venue?
any place that let me play.
Never did.
Yeah, there was so many to list.
I mean, the ones with the big stages, they're nice. House of Blues in Chicago was nice. The ones with no stage, you get to, you know,
Oh.
bounce off people who are watching you play, and
Yeah.
Around
those
here,
places are nice too.
Club
Yeah.
Garibaldi and Rockstar Saloon have always done us well. So
Oh yeah,
I want to say, yeah, those two have always
Shout
they've always
out.
supported us in what we do, and we've always tried to support them. I mean,
Okay.
people can say what they want about them, but
yep.
a lot of it isn't. A lot of all that glitters isn't gold, you know. So.
True. Right. So do you guys have any upcoming shows?
Well, we did have one on the 7th, but that got canceled. So
Okay.
we're supposed to have one on April 8th at DeBar, but I haven't heard too many details about it.
Okay.
We're trying to bring friends up here in a band called Solar from Rockford, so they asked us to reach
that's
out.
probably a good choice of venue if we get it.
And then,
Gavar.
yeah, really, right now we're just kind of recording and finishing up an album. It's actually, Pete did his parts, Dave's got his parts done. I'm still working on samples and vocals for my parts, but like I said, we record ourselves, so.
So tell me about that process. Is that a long process to
It can be.
record something?
Well, the drum process is a bit longer than everyone else's.
Right, because
Well,
it's in stages, right? Like
Well,
I've seen one band recording it one time, and like it was all separate. Like the drums go by themselves. And
That's right. That's
yeah.
how we do it
Okay.
because
to keep it in perspective of BRAY Road, we've never, in all the releases we have, we've never went in the studio and recorded. It's always been within the band. At first, just me. So, but so right now, after we get a song, we pretty much it goes to Pete. Pete designates a click track for it, lays his drums down, a layer of guitars gets thrown on there, bass gets thrown on, then I do the rest of my guitars, and from there on it's vocals. So, I mean, it's kind of a pretty straightforward process.
It is.
Piece by piece.
I got the easy part. I just play bass.
Yeah, you
Put
just
my stuff
plugs
down
in
and-
Right.
But yeah, drums, it's the hardest one to record. You gotta mic up each individual component,
Sure.
then mic up the groups of cymbals, you know,
Okay.
and dial that all in, get levels for each of them.
Phelony's learning how to play the drums.
Oh.
How about
Yeah, but each individual, you gotta get levels for each of them and even them out,
Okay.
even out levels, and then play your part and try. I like to treat it like tape, where I actually play at my very, very best. Even if I'm using the computer to record, I'm still thinking like I'm going on tape. Don't go back and edit everything and think you can play it terribly and fix it all up.
Sure.
I'd rather it actually be my good performance.
We actually invested in quite a bit of money in
We
our
did.
studio.
Yeah.
The computer,
Imagine.
Yeah,
mics.
all our inputs and
It's easier if you record your tracks solid the first time.
Yes, you're right about that. But I can do practice takes. I can check my progress.
Right.
Okay.
You know, all that stuff.
well,
Because
the other thing is we don't use in our recordings. We don't use. You hear a lot of bands. They oversample their drums with nothing but samples.
oh yes, sampling
Ours are
first.
more natural. Like we keep it.
Yes.
Our engineer keeps it natural.
Oh yeah.
sorry.
Hi.
Yeah, keep going. Don't interrupt. I'm not
Okay.
interrupting.
Our main
I just
hostess
came back from
Storm is here.
feeding because
Oh.
when you guys came. Oh my gosh. I had a hunger that came over me for some reason.
Yeah,
you guys
this
smelled
is
so
Storm.
delicious. Well, I met them earlier in the castle,
Yeah.
you know, so
Right.
I kind of had to kind of go past. I don't know if they see me or not, but
Oh.
I had to go because I knew you had your guests coming. BRAY Road, everyone!
Bray
Yeah!
Road.
Woo! Nice to meet you guys now. Yes. Yeah. So, sorry, I
No, it's
interrupted
okay.
the whole
I
thing.
know.
You know,
Okay.
you know, I got habits of when people walk up behind you, you got to kind of make sure.
Well, actually, I think I've gotten a lot of information from them. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to all the people out there about you guys? Like, what's in store for you? Like, coming up to, like, releasing your album, obviously. So maybe, like, maybe we have a tour, maybe to plan or something. Yeah.
Right now, we have our website. That's www.brayroad.com. We have our Facebook and our website and stuff. You can purchase CDs, music. We make the T-shirts in house. So,
Okay.
really,
Nice.
with the pandemic, kind of set us back a little bit. So we're just still kind of trying to find footing on
I'm just
what we
gonna
want to
sit
do as
here.
far as
Yep.
shows. We're
I'm
all.
gonna go right here.
One thing about this band is,
It's okay.
we all work for a living in this band, so
Yep.
getting out to tour is sometimes just not feasible because
Yeah.
we depend on our own sources of incomes and that don't really pay the bills. When you got
Right.
kids, both fathers, so we just don't have the freedom that a lot of other bands do, and we're just gonna keep producing good music and putting it out there. It's
That's
just what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. And we're going to have all the information up for you guys to check them out. If you don't know them already, that'd be crazy. But yeah, they are so amazing. They don't rock. They're metal, but they rock. You know me. I rock. We all rock.
We're whatever we need to do.
Yeah, they're completely amazing. Sorry, Abigail.
Oh, no,
you know,
that's okay.
I gotta add.
No, it's perfect. No, I just want to say to everyone out there, this is why it's so important that when you're out at shows to help these bands out by like purchasing the merch, because all of it goes towards bringing all of you more music. So whenever you're at shows, make sure you check out all of the merch from all of the bands that you see and pick up all of their new releases, because it seems like it's like such a complicated process and there's such talent here that they deserve your support, and we hope that you give it to them.
Heck yeah.
Keep us around for another 12 years.
Yes,
That's
it's
most
all in
definite.
our hands, really.
Absolutely. And there's absolutely no problem with that. You guys all rock. Yeah, so as of right now, I'm starting to get a little more thirsty, and I think maybe I should just go clean up my fangs. Maybe that's it. So we are going to let you guys all go. We hope you enjoyed the movie. BRAY Road, yes, check them out. We love them. We are so excited they came to the castle, unharmed by the moat and everything else. So stay eclectic,
Happy
nightmares!
Maybe it's me, I'm a little fucked up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Kick his ass, you ass!